Meghan is, of course, attending this she is the VIP guest, I should say, at the Her Best Life Wellness Retreat at the Intercontinental Hotel in Coogee. And, of course, VIP tickets for this cost more than $3,000. Tell you what, Australians can barely afford to fill up their car with fuel at the moment, so I don't know who is paying thousands of dollars for that. Well, apparently not many, it seems, Andrew. It's failed to sell out. What more can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you because there was a sort of leaked email exchange from somebody who signed up and was put on a waiting list, apparently, and they weren't really intending to go, but they leaked it on Reddit, I think it was, and they sort of turned around and said they were receiving emails saying, look, we've still got your place, we'll give you another 24 hours to respond, and they've got another one, keep reminding them that you've still got this space, and if you want to bring a bestie, we'll squeeze them in as well. So the suggestion that it's been sold out, 300 people, as you say, at thousands of dollars, is sort of extraordinary in this sort of economic climate when people are struggling to find enough money to put in the petrol for the car. So it is extraordinary and not very surprising. There are also rather worrying stuff. You'll get a group photo if you pay the huge eye-watering sum for the VIP table. You get a group photo with Meghan. But also what was rather worrying is that some people had to basically shack up with other people they may not know, strangers, unless you bought these VIP solo rooms. So you could be in a twin room with a complete stranger, were reports on that sort of basis. But it is extraordinary, the amount of money which has been spent. And you're looking at that sort of side. But every sort of opportunity to extract money, and I can guarantee the biggest promotional side is going to be about the launch in Australia of the As Ever brand. And it was all as a result of the campaign that we did on your brilliant show, Gabriella, to make sure you can get easy access to those flower sprinkles.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Can't wait. Now I have to talk to you about Prince Harry. It's interesting. He's being sued by Sentebale, the charity he co-founded in honour of his mother, Princess Diana. The charity said that it was seeking the court's intervention following an adverse media campaign which Sentebale alleged has been conducted since last March. Bring us up to speed.
Well, Sentebale, which was this wonderful charity, it means forget-me-not. Well, there's no way that you can forget even if you've tried. It was set up in 2006, as you say, in honour of Princess Diana. It was there to help young people with HIV and AIDS in South Africa. Brilliant cause. But it has been public, the discord, if you like, between that and the chairperson. And now they're suing Harry and also the trustee Mark Dyer for libel. And basically it was a lawsuit that's been filed in the High Court over here in London. And what they're saying, they're alleging this adverse media campaign since March 2025, saying it's caused this reputational damage as well as operational disruption and bullying of leadership. Harry basically resigned as patron in March 2025 after this bitter dispute. They basically accused him of harassment, bullying, misogyny and misogynoir, which is obviously hatred and bullying of black women. Harry's side said, look, the whole claim is extraordinary and indeed heartbreaking. I have to agree. It's really sad that when you get these wonderful causes and spending money not on what the cause was set up for, but actually on the internal fighting. And there's a very famous cartoon from the 18th century, bringing you right up to date, by J. Bright, which sort of depicts litigation. And it has a picture of a cow with the word litigation written on it. And the plaintiff is pulling the horns of the cow, and the defendant's pulling the tail, and the lawyer is there milking it. Because the only people who make money from litigation are the lawyers. So it's a very sad state of affairs, which undoubtedly will continue to dominate the headlines for many weeks to come.
No, I agree with you. It's very sad. Details surrounding the King and the Queen's visit to the United States for the country's 250th anniversary have been released by Buckingham Palace. King Charles will address a joint meeting of Congress and will meet privately with US President Donald Trump during his state visit later this month. Certainly going to be fascinating. Andrew, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, this follows from the glorious President Trump coming to Windsor. You remember I went down there especially for your programme to wave the flag and things like that at Windsor. This is the return visit, and it's coming at a most extraordinary time, isn't it? Where the special relationship, the phrase coined by Churchill all those years ago, the special relationship between the US and the UK, is under existential threat. And the war of words that President Trump has had with the lily-livered Keir Starmer as a result of his refusal to bow to President Trump's calls to join the war and so on and so forth. He said we're not dealing with Churchill here, more U-turns than a plumber. You work on that sort of premise. So there's no love lost between the two of those. But King Charles, basically, we had that wonderful meeting, you might remember, when Starmer went to the White House and met Trump, and very different to the Zelensky planned theatrics and that terrible meeting that we all remember of Zelensky and Trump. At that meeting, Starmer basically came out and flattered Trump by giving him this wonderful handwritten invitation from King Charles to come over for that state visit. Trump loves all the pomp and pageantry, and no doubt will be parading King Charles and Queen Camilla out to show that their support, if you like, for him. Politicians over here are turning around and saying, look, hang about, should we cancel the trip because of the conflict and so on and so forth? But no, the king has made it very clear he is above politics, and that's what the royal family is supposed to be. So it is a celebration and remembrance for the 250th anniversary, and it is going to be exactly that. They're going to make the state visit from late April, as I predicted, 27th to the 30th of April. That's all confirmed. It is this sort of shared UK history, but it's not supposed to be political. And there have been calls from all sorts of campaign groups, including for King Charles to meet some of the victims of Epstein and so on and so forth. I suspect he's not going to do that and not want to do that because, obviously, as we say here, Andrew's been arrested, albeit to do with basically misconduct in a public office, nothing to do with the sexual side, and so on and so forth at the moment. And we have very strict rules here in the UK about contempt of court. So people cannot comment on anything to do with an ongoing case once somebody's been arrested until either the case has met its conclusion or charges have been dropped, if charges are in fact brought. So he's going to be very, very cautious about that. But also he wants to stay as far away as possible from Andrew, because if he gets asked about these sort of questions or he meets Andrew even in private, he could be quizzed about his connection, which could expose all sorts of things. So he's desperate, if you like, to keep away from Andrew on that sort of basis, even though I know that Edward's been to visit, and also I understand Princess Anne has phoned because they're very concerned about Andrew's mental health. But King Charles will hope that the focus will be not on that, not on the war in Iran, but on celebrating the 250th anniversary.